The UN Charter and international laws are there to promote the peaceful settlement of disputes between countries. The charters and laws set the limits of a country in pursuing its own interest. Based on the principle, Malaysia opposes violations. This is the truth that we should not forget. Conflicts will only result in negative effects for the world. It is due to conflicts that we are now facing various problems, such as lack of nutrients and food resources. In facing this, Malaysia calls on all countries to emphasize the issue of food security to guarantee sufficient food resources for all. Mr. President, the UN Charter and international laws are there to promote the peaceful settlement of disputes between countries. The Charter and the laws set the limits of a country in pursuing its own interests. Based on that principle, Malaysia opposes violations of international laws, including the principle of sovereignty and territorial integrity of any nation. When a conflict erupts, all parties hold the responsibility of easing tension and giving priority to the safety and lives of civilians. At the same time, the conflicting parties need to return to the negotiating table to stop the conflict as soon as possible. Malaysia does not agree with the isolation of a country from international organizations. Such a measure is against the principle of multilateralism and hinders dialogue. The price to be paid for a war is high. This is proven by the situation experienced by Ukraine. The effects are felt not only by the people and the country, but also by the world. This conflict has threatened peace, global security, and the economy, and undermined food security. Malaysia welcomes the creation of the Sea Route corridor that allows for the shipment of grain from Ukraine. This is a positive step in addressing the food security problem. In this regard, Malaysia would like to reiterate its insistence that all countries, especially the major powers, refrain from creating isolation blocks that will only push the world towards a Cold War. The world needs to realize that peace can only be achieved through dialogue and negotiation. As for the occupied Palestinian territories, Malaysia is disappointed with the brutal occupation by Israel that has been going on for a long time. The Palestinian people continue to live under the shackles of Israel's discriminatory policies. Illegal settlements are becoming more widespread. This is against international law, including Security Council Resolution 2334. The most basic rights of the Palestinian people continue to be denied. Therefore, Malaysia is of the view that the major powers need to be honest in resolving the issue of cruelty faced by the Palestinian people. That firm stand should be taken by the UN to ensure that the crisis that has been going on in Palestine for a long time can be resolved quickly. What is happening today is that most countries are so quick to act in the case of Ukraine. Malaysia wants the same action to be taken to resolve the issue of Palestine. Israel needs to stop being an apartheid entity. Although we are still threatened by conflicts between countries, we cannot ignore the other crisis in the world. The pillar of strength for a conflict-free world is living together in a culture of peace. And Malaysia, as a multiracial, multicultural, and multi-religious country, always supports and strives for the concept of peaceful coexistence between various races, beliefs, and cultures.